streaming service. Okay, all right, we're live. Fantastic. We are live. Okay, welcome everybody. Yay, we're here and we're live on this beautiful Saturday, January 18th, 2025. And like we do with all our satsangs, we invoke the divine and we bring about the angels and the divine masters, and we do that by using mantras. So let's begin. Kausuki, can you use your beautiful voice and do the opening mantras?
Sure. Om Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahmam.
I didn't get that.
Tasmai
Could you
Shri
try again?
Gurave Namaha. Om Suklam Bharadaram Vishnum Sashivaranam Chatubhujam Prasanavaranam Dhyaye Sava Vigno Prashantaye. Om Bhurabhuvasuvaha Tatsavito Vayenyam Bhago Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayad. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Yay. All right. Thank you all for being here. Kowski, welcome everybody. Hi, my name is Paul Arie, and I am also here to talk with you guys about the upcoming Shiratri course, along with Kausuki Cecilia Trahan. Say hi, Kausuki.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Gazella. Gisela. How are you?
Hi. Thank you.
And
you.
And here we go. We get some more people coming in as well. That's great. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, LB. It's great to see you guys. Glad you guys could make it. We're live. We're actually able to master the element of the internet.
The air element.
The inner air element. I'm so it's taken me years to master the element of the internet. It's the sixth element, I think.
Seven.
Yeah, the seventh element. Right. Okay, great. So as I was introducing myself, we are live, and my name is Paul Arie, and I am here in Los Angeles, and along with Kausuki. We are the two people that are going to be teaching this course coming up. Kausuki, you want to tell everyone where you are right now?
I am in Knoxville, Tennessee. Yesterday was an absolutely gorgeous day, and today is rainy and overcast. So that's the elements for you. The one thing out here is the elements are continually changing because tomorrow we're supposed to get snow. So there you go. It's a constant change. So it's all good.
And I am in Southern California, where it is today. It's very cool and very sunny and very beautiful outside. After less than 3-4 days ago, we were in the midst of one of the worst fires on the planet. And I think, Terrence, you're in LA as well, huh? Yeah. So it was quite an adventure to be in the elements of the fire while it's really kind of interesting because this particular course talks about Shiva, and when you talk about Shiva, you talk about the elements. And I have to tell you, my experience in the last 1 week with the fires in Los Angeles, we were dealing with the air element. We were dealing with the ether. We were dealing with the fire, and we were dealing with the lack of water. So I have to tell you, it was quite an interesting time. And I thought to myself, when we talk in spirituality, we talk about the mother, and the mother is represented by the nature. And the essence of the mother is is the energy of the elements. And we're going to talk a little bit today about Shiva, or the energy of Shiva, and how we can leverage the energy and understand the mechanism of Shiva without going into too much detail of the course, because it's a 3-4 day course. So we're going to talk about that as well today. So it's very apropos that the elements have been out of balance in the nature. And so we're going to talk about how Shiva can help us.
Yes.
Kowski?
So we're going to just touch on highlights because most of the information is going to be in the course. So we just want to touch on some highlights and then leave some time for people to ask questions regarding this course that it's not really a course, it's a process. It has some elements of knowledge. It has the element of mantra and the element of special power objects that you will be using and charging when you're doing the mantras. So it has all these characteristics, because what a process actually does is not only give you knowledge, but it gives you experience. Experience in being able to connect to, in this case, Shiva and his energy, that beautiful unconditional love and silence and peace that we get when we go into a very deep meditation, into a trance-like state. He is an amazing character that will help us as we move through our life and through our challenges. He's the one that will help us with Mother and her illusions meaning testing and challenges that come into our life for a particular reason. It could be having to really learn a lesson or burn a karma or move us in a particular direction. And, each test that we go through tests our capacity, and it also tests how far we've come on our spiritual path. When we start on a spiritual path, a lot of things come up because it's meant to come up in order to for us to look at and see what is keeping us stuck in the same patterns and the same things that we keep attracting to ourselves. So that's one of the aspects. And then that way we can take a look at it and start really going, where is this coming from? How am I dealing with it? How can it be changed and transformed? I mean, Shiva uses the elements. He is the master. He's beyond the elements. And so the elements, such as fire, is transformative. Each element has its good and its destructive. So as we're doing fire homas, that helps us to transform. If we use a candle and we're using that as a way to decharge, those are helpful and beneficial. Now, as in LA, you can see it's got a very destructive power as well. Now, can that be good or bad? Can we put a label on it, good or bad? That will be seen, because when I lived up in, so let me tell you a story. First time I ever met Swami in 2009 was for the Surya Nadi process. Surya Nadi, what is Surya? Surya is sun. And what is the sun? It's the big fire object in the sky. So we were evacuated because there was a fire behind our house. And we had to do everything from like where I was staying with my daughter and things like that, and try to get everything going. So you can see how the elements react to, these amazing spiritual processes and Swami coming in. So with that being said, after the fire was done, they were saying there's a lot of plants there. the redwoods, other certain plants that don't open and don't regenerate unless there was a fire, because that's what pops the seeds open so that they can germinate and start growing plants. And they said they'd never seen some of these plants for 50 years. So there's your destructive aspects of the nature, and then you have, the ones that are, and the beneficial aspects. So Shiva helps us to use the elements in a positive way and help it to transform our lives and move to removing things that are blocking us, as well as, learning how to move into the silence so that we can access knowledge and answers to questions that we have.
Right, right. I wanted to give a little bit of background for you guys. So just to kind of give a little context, both Kowski and myself, met Swami in the flesh, and we also were trained in particular ways. Although I was there in 1998, Kowski, when did you meet Swami?
2009. I was on a different path and kind of got switched over.
And just to give a little bit of context, because the what intrigued me about this path, I mean, we could talk about the theory of the elements and that Shiva embodies the elements and the benefits of the elements, but really, what attracted me to this particular path and the processes, because it showed how to become masterful with the elements, both the inner and the outer elements. And for me, going to India for the first time in 1998, I was immediately attracted to the miracle energy that was being manifested. And, Swami Kaleshwar was a master of the elements. So he was able to work the elements and create miracles, or, the miracles are Mother Divine, but at the essence of all miracles, which is Mother Divine, there's also Shiva. And so what I began to understand in the early days was that Mother Divine is an amazingly powerful energy and force of nature. What I discovered that what these masters do and how they explain it, that you need both energies. Why? Because if you go into the nature without any strong constitution, clarity of mind, purity of heart, stability in the elements, you could be like an umbrella in the midst of a hurricane storm, with all the things that spirituality will bring forth. So for me, it was this fascination with the miracles, but at the same time, Swami Kaleshwar told us and explained that in order to really experience the essence of the miracle energy, you need to be steeped in the consciousness which is found in the elements. Mm-hmm. And what that means is that in the midst of the duality of the fires, the wind, the floods, the hurricanes, all the turbulence that the elements throw you, that you are in a state of peace and equanimity. Mm-hmm. And that you have clarity, that you have the ability to weather the storm because your inner vibrations are strong. Because when the inner vibrations, we call it the inner elements, when those are in balance and those are steeped in tremendous foundational awareness, and these are concepts, but you get my experience. Even though the fires of Los Angeles and the Palisades were all around me, I kept my focus because my consciousness was so connected to Shiva, which is the Guru Parampara, which is that stability of clarity that you can't put into words, but you can only experience. Does that make sense, guys? Does that make it, the turbulence I talk about are the impurities within us, the emotions, the belief systems, the lack of experience. Because this course isn't about knowledge; it's about process.
Mhm.
It's about accessing through process, which is going to happen from day one, which is going to be February 9th. It's going to continue with the 16th and go to the 23rd. So we're going to have 3 classes plus a culmination on Shivaratri Day, and we'll be introducing mantras. And I know it's a lot to talk about. I didn't want to go into so much detail of the class, but I think it's really important that everyone really understands what to expect for this course. Kowski?
Yeah, so all these things are going to be also covered in the course. And the importance of Shiva. Shiva, his connection to the angels, Shiva, the connection to the elements. Also, there are particular mantras and what we call bijas that are seed vibrations of the nature that connect directly to him. If anybody has a personal mantra, that is a Shiva bija that connects directly to Shiva. So the personal mantras that Swami gave us, they all connect to Shiva. Why? So these are questions that we have to ask as we're going through this course. Why? Why did Swami want to connect us so much to Shiva and then to Mother? And then we'll talk about Shivaratri. What's the importance of Shivaratri? Shivaratri is a very unique, special one day out of the year. Why? And what do we want to do with that particular day and that energy of that day? So those are, that's part of this course of understanding why we're going into process at this time, why we're using the particular mantras and power objects that we'll be giving out, because Shivaratri is an opportunity for us to connect to Shiva directly, and we'll ask everybody to think, what in their life do they need to ask for, change, remove? What help do you need on your spiritual path? Things of that nature, because what you'll want to do is have a real clear intention for that particular day, because it's a big opening to really connect to Shiva. So these are all things that we'll be covering in the course, the knowledge part of it. And then you'll have your daily meditation practice that you'll be doing that's going to hopefully give you some really deep processes. So, Paul, do you want to see if anybody has any questions?
Sure. Feel free, guys. I mean, we're just like an open book here.
Yeah.
This is we've been doing these courses. I was in India 14 years, and then I came back and connected with various teachers to bring this knowledge and bring these processes, which are from the ancient palm leaf manuscripts of India. And so Sri just said, gave out all this information. And I have to tell you, the processes and that we're going to be introducing for this particular course is going to be extremely powerful. Hi, Karen. Karen said, I registered already, but I got no confirmation email. HM, that means HM. You will get a confirmation after today's class. And I did get your confirmation yesterday, and we were just preparing for this class. And, we're all going to participate in a group process. And we're going to be gravitating towards one process and two sets of mantras, which are going to be extremely powerful. It vibrationally, it will really uplift you and accelerate your meditation process. That's all I can say about it right now.
Mhm.
Um,
Does
so
anybody have any questions?
yeah, questions. Gisela, do you have any questions? Terrence, do you have any questions? Sorry, I don't mean to point out anybody on this particular thing, but that's how you're going to get answers.
Can
And
you share that picture, Paul, that I sent over to you?
yeah, I can. Hold on a second.
Because it's really appropriate. And we'll share this, I think, picture again when we do the course. But I came across this. This was a while ago. I don't remember what year. But I just thought, oh my God, that's just like how we should all be in the midst of the turbulence. You'll see this picture. It's great. But I think that, I don't know how everybody, how long everybody's been on the path. How much time do we need every day? What do we say, a half hour for the mantra and 5 or 10 minutes for the other part?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's pretty.
So a half hour, 45 minutes, 45 minutes? Yeah.
And sorry, I'm just jumping in here because I had a similar question. And is it 1 or 2 times a day? And I'm only asking because, okay, because when you're doing other processes and sadhanas,
Gets a little overwhelming, huh?
it does.
It's
And
a
I'm trying to
little
figure out how to
overwhelming.
manage all that because there's so many things I want to do. And I'm like, okay, holy womb. Well, how do I do that when I'm still on fire element? I haven't finished that. And I've got, Aginetra and I've got this and that. Like,
So you have to pace yourself.
yeah,
Try
that's
not to get overwhelmed because it can be overwhelming. So what I would suggest is that you just pace yourself. Maybe you do one process in the morning and one in the afternoon because you'll want to really focus in on what's happening. And if you don't understand where it's coming from or what's coming up for what particular process, then it's going to be hard to distinguish. So I would definitely don't overdo, just really pace yourself. Does that make sense?
No, it totally does. And that's why when I first saw him talking about this, I'm like, let me jump on the informational soon because I don't want to overwhelm myself, but I'm curious. So
Yeah, right.
Yeah, good question though.
Allison, all I can tell you is enlightenment is just right around the corner.
we're ready for it. We're like, yes.
Yeah, okay.
I'm open to receiving.
What corner is that? I'll have to locate it.
Oh, which corner is that?
Yeah,
I'm an
I'll have to
optimist.
find that corner pretty soon, I hope.
In this incarnation.
Yeah, right. In this incarnation, right. Exactly.
Allison, what I've really found fascinating about the processes and everybody, when we were around Swami, it was like we didn't have time to think. We would go from one process to the next, and then we had a short break. We went to Bangalore, had a weekend, came back, jumped in the fire again, and then he did that because he wanted to change the elements in us, because a lot of times we were either too rajasic with too much fire, or we were too tamasic because it's like we were just kind of like stuck in our own belief system. But one of the most important things that I found on the spiritual path and when we take on these processes is to be able to integrate or digest what you received, so you can really kind of integrate. I like to use the word integrate.
Integrate, that's a great word.
In Swami Kaleshwar's language, we call, the teachers, they say, well, you've got to digest the energy, and and I came back after 14 years, having been in the fire for 14 years straight. And I thought to myself, what does it mean to digest the energy? And so I had to meditate on that, because I really didn't even know what I received. And so if I wasn't really fully aware of what I received, how can I give value to the energy and the depth of how it touched my soul? When we all came out of India after 14 years with Swami Kaleshwar, we just thought that we could just wave our hand and all of a sudden miracles would start happening around us, left and right. Hey, like this, like Mother Divine on the left, Shiva on the right. We thought we knew it all. It's like, and then all of a sudden, all the senior teachers would kind of get together and talk and says, "How's it going for you? What's going on over there? Are you meeting daily with Mother Divine? And what are the conversations like over there?" And I look at them, I go, seriously? I look at
So,
them,
in other words, integration,
sorry,
Allison.
sorry, Allison. I just, because
So it just means that, when you're doing your processes, you have to also take the time to allow it to integrate into your system and be aware of what that means. So if you're jumping from one thing to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing, it's not allowing that to settle in and for you to take a time to see what's happening, see how that's helping you, see what's coming up so that you can move through it.
yeah. So two of the things I just wanted to just touch on, because it's a really important point, is that Swami, the way he taught, he was very subtle, because he didn't have a really, he was like an avatar on fire. And so he knew his time was very short. So he just kind of said, okay, let me give him the seeds of consciousness of different capacities. And when I leave my body, then we'll kind of like help them digest, integrate, and reflect, and to have awareness of the energies, and to be able to maneuver and work with the energies. Now it made sense, because one of the first things he says, go out and heal. And we didn't understand why. He used to say, just go out and heal. And then in my meditations, like, why did he always say that? Why did he say? Because when you are integrating what you've received, but implementing it within the creation, then you can see the reflection back. Wow, I have calmness in the midst of doing a healing on someone who's suffering with these diseases. And then you feel the energy and you go, wow, I never felt that energy before. And I'm in the witness state of consciousness while the miracle energy is flowing. Oh, I get it. That's the Shiva energy that he talked about. So in these processes, Allison, you begin to open your capacity of awareness, and you begin to have firsthand mastery and experience of the concepts that we teach. Because then it becomes real. Then it becomes, you begin to be able to identify and master the energy within you once you've integrated it and purified. Isn't purification really just letting go of all your stuff? And that's the most difficult part.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it when people say, got to wash those blocks. You got to purify all that stuff, because the bliss is on the other side. Yeah, I've been waiting for the bliss for a while.
Well, it's like an onion, we just have layers and layers from lifetimes of, experience.
There is
It's a layer.
bliss. There is bliss.
Yes.
I mean, there are glimpses of bliss in the midst of the chaos that is so invaluable. If I had to share anything, I would say that, that's what this course is about. It's to instill, to be at the eye of the hurricane, and be in stita pragnata, which is that witness consciousness, and it's blissful. I can't begin to tell you, because I've been on the other side of the spectrum where I've been like a seal being turned around in the turbulence of the oceans, and it's like up is down, down is up, and everything doesn't make any sense. So Terrence had a great question. Can you share with us the concept of power objects? It's a great topic, actually. And the
Can we talk about it in the class? Because that's what part of the class is about.
Yeah, but what I will say about the power objects is that these power objects vibrationally are there for you to help accelerate the process. It's like a battery charged item that when you are connecting to it, that it helps your soul grow even more. So you're leveraging the power of another object, connecting it to your soul, integrating it through the process to expand the capacity of your soul vibration. How's that for an explanation, Kowski?
Sure. That's good. It is true because Swami, gave us power objects, and that was to help us to expand our soul capacity. And he also said that you need, on the spiritual path, everybody needs a power, personal mantra, power spot, power object, soulmate,
Soul object.
soul object.
Those are the five mechanisms that really help you to develop your soul capacity and accelerate and integrate. And, when you have a first of all, when you have a power spot in a holy place like Penaconda, it just helps you, ground you, protects you from what? From the illusions, from the nature, from the negativity. All these different things help you to become stronger. And they're all linked with Shiva. That's the key here, because they're all linked. And they're all linked to Shiva because it's your soul at the center of the spoke of the wheel that touch points all these different things. And we can get into that in the course. It's a fabulous mechanism. And I can only say that I thank God and Shiva. By the way, the Guru Parampara is Shiva through a lineage of masters. And it's through that guidance of the masters, the guidance of the angels, the guidance of the vibrations that really help you to understand on a very deep level your personal spiritual path. Allison, thank you for clarifying that. You're welcome. For some reason, I thought it was Sai Baba. Yes, Swami used to say that Shirdi Baba was 99% Shiva. And what does that mean? When he says that? Well, what it means is that here's an example of an incarnated soul in a physical body that vibrationally has been able to master the vibrational frequency of the elements. So what that means is that, let me put it in simple terms. Same thing with Jesus. And Swami. And so when you have mastery or you have the essence of the elements, you can change the elements. You can manipulate the elements. You can balance the elements. You can accentuate the elements within your devotees. That's what Swami did. Whenever we were out of balance or we were going through our purification, he acted like Shiva to us, and he was able to purify our karmas. He was able to take the poison, to transmute the poison, and to balance it. And he was able to, as a Shiva character, to mitigate the reaction of the nature of the student's progress over time. How's that as an explanation, Kausuke and Allison? Does that make sense? So you can begin to see the importance of a master, the importance of a power spot, because as you accelerate on the spiritual path, what happens is that, guess what? As your soul becomes more of a magnet, you reach a higher level of being able to handle the opposite, which is the negativity, the karmas, the vibrational poison that's out there, and learn to take lemons and make lemonade. Isn't it amazing, Allison, when you're out in the world and you're this bright light, all of a sudden people are just gravitated towards you. Why? Because you have that Shiva energy in you. You are a walking power object of peace and love. And so that's why people gravitate to people that are on a spiritual path, because they're not able to access it within themselves. So they see the reflection of love or peace or tranquility or happiness in all of us.
Well, it's also like any kind of musical instrument, particularly a string instrument, because your vibration is vibrating at like a higher frequency. People, like Paul was saying, gravitate to you, and it helps lift them up. It helps lift their energy up so that they can maybe start seeing a possibility inside themselves. And because it attracts. The new moon is Shiva Ratri day.
Yeah. The question is, why is the process being done with the new moon? Well, use the moon cycles as a vibrational influence. During the new moon cycle, it is a design to take us within and to access the silence, or that stream of consciousness, which is Shiva.
It connects to the Shiva energy.
Right.
Whereas the full moon connects to the mother energy,
which is the nature, which is the fire. And you begin to understand intuitively how all these components, you have the mantras, you have the moon cycles, you have your process, you have the energetic vibrations leading up to Shivaratri, that makes it, it's like all these things together really help to propel you forward. So, and a lot of times, it's purification. And a lot of times it's blissful. And a lot of times, you never know what to expect during Shivaratri. I remember my first darshan of Mother Divine happened on Shivaratri.
He did a lot of things like that on Shivaratri. Shivaratri, like what we were talking about earlier, is an amazing opportunity because it's the time when Shiva wakes up and we can ask for something that we need in our spiritual life. So it's a very powerful. So Swami always used that time along with Guru Purnima to do amazing processes. So that's why we use these time cycles to help us out in our process.
Right. And so the other thing is that we will also have a collective and individual intention, because we all have our personal process. And so we'll also be focusing our energies in a particular way for a specific outcome. And that's part of the process that is going to be unfolded. Okay. Kausuke, how are we doing on time? And did we cover?
It's been 40 minutes, so I think it's good to ask if there's any more questions regarding the class, because we're going to get into a lot of this in the class. So if you have any questions from now until when the class starts, you can always write them down. You can send them over to us so that we can take a look at them and address them at that point. But there's a lot of information that we'll be giving out.
Right. And the other thing which is really important is that we have community, and in community, the sharing and the questions and the um, inquiries and all this stuff will happen and come up. And the fact that Kowski and I, have been doing this for so many years, we see all the questions, and we understand the natural unfoldment of the process. So we're here to support you in your process and to get success. And success could be measured in many different ways, but it's receiving quantums of energy, and ultimately it's about touching your own, expanding your soul, and to really finding out what's really inside.
Mhm.
Isn't that exciting? So, any other questions, guys? And listen, I see spirituality as a barometer of how happy you are in life with whatever you have and whatever you don't. And irrespective of the circumstances, to be happy in the midst of the duality of this creation and the alahala, or the poison that's out there, that's a miracle. That's part of the spiritual miracle. And hopefully we'll be able to uh, impart that during this 3-week course. Hopefully.
So the only other thing I would like to share or ask people, if you really want to do this, is please register soon, because we need to get your address to send the object to you.
Bunch
And
of things, actually.
yes, for your process. So it'd be best sooner than later. Make sure we have your address.
Yeah. So so in the email that I'm going to send out when everyone registers online, I send a welcome email and saying thank you very much, and we'll be beginning on February 9th. Please send us your address so we can send it's called
A little care package.
a spiritual care package. I never thought of it. We're the
Little care package to everybody.
yeah, exactly. We're the FEMA spiritual care.
Oh no, we're not FEMA. We're not associated at all.
To help you
We're the
guys.
Swami Kailash for our little elves.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, great.
All righty.
And thank you so much, guys. Looking forward to seeing you in this course. Take care. Feel free to be reaching out to us, and we'll answer you the best way we can.
Let me do the closing mantra.
Okay.
Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Everybody have a lovely day, and we'll